Hello, my name is Zoe Anstey, and today I'm going to be walking you through my analytical report comparing 3 flight training programs in San Diego County. The purpose of this report is to figure out which program gives me the best possible career path towards becoming a professional pilot. I looked into 3 schools. The first is ATP Flight School, located just a few miles from my house at McAllen-Palomar Airport in Carlsbad. ATP is the largest flight training organization in the country, and they offer a fixed cost program that bundles everything together from your first lesson all the way through to your certified flight instructor's license. The second school is California Flight Academy in El Conjo. This program has been around since 1989, and instead of one bundle price, they break things down into 4 separate phases that you pay along as you go. Third school is Coast Flight Training in San Diego. Coast is the youngest of the 3, founded in 2008, but they built a strong local reputation and have even secured partnerships with regional airline carriers. All 3 of these schools take a student from 0 flight experience all the way to commercial pilot certificate, so they're all a fair comparison for someone in my position. To compare these 3 programs, I used 4 criteria. Let me walk you through each one. My first criterion is total program cost. This is simply the full published price to go from 0 experience to a commercial pilot certificate at each school. Whichever school has the lowest total price wins this criterion. My second criterion is cost of living near campus. Since flight training is basically a full-time commitment for close to a year, I looked at the average monthly rent for a 1-bedroom apartment near each school. The school with the lowest average rent wins. My third criterion is commute distance. I measured the actual driving distance from my home in Carlsbad to each school. Since flight training runs on a tight schedule, a canceled lesson can push back an entire week of training. A shorter commute matters. Whichever school is closest to home wins this point. My fourth and final criterion is years in business. The longer operating history usually means a more established training pipeline and a stronger relationship with airlines. So I compared how long each school has been operating. The school with the most years in business wins. Now let me get into the details of each criterion. Starting with total program costs. As I mentioned, the school with the lowest total price wins this point. ATP Flight School comes in at just under $124,000. Coast Flight Training is in the middle with $85,000, and California Flight Academy comes in at the lowest at $75,000. So, for total program costs, the winner is California Flight Academy, and it isn't even close. You can see the comparison in Figure 1 on page 3 of my report. Now let's talk about cost of living near campus. Remember, the lowest average rent wins this point. Carlsbad, where ATP is located, has the highest average rent of the 3 cities since its coastal North County location. San Diego, the home of Coast Flight Training, falls in the middle. El Conjo, where California Flight Academy is based, has the lowest average rate by several $100s a month. So California Flight Academy wins this criterion as well. The data is in Figure 2 on page 4. Now let's move on to commute distance, where the shortest drive from my house wins. This one flips it around, where ATP Flight School is only 4 miles from my house, so there's really no meaningful commute at all. Coast Flight Training Academy is about 35 miles away, which usually runs somewhere between 30 to 45 minutes each way. California Flight Academy is the furthest at 48 miles, which means close to an hour each way. So on commute distance, ATP Flight School is the clear winner. You can see this breakdown on Figure 3 of page 5. Finally, let's look at years in business, where the school with the longest track record wins. Coast Flight Training is the youngest of the 3 with only 18 years in the industry. California Flight Academy has around 37 years, but ATP Flight School has been training pilots for over 40 years and has grown into the largest flight school networks in the country. So ATP wins this final criterion. That comparison is shown on Figure 8 of page 6. So allow me to sum everything up. California Flight Academy won total program cost and cost of living near campus. ATP Flight School won commute distance and years in business. These two are a 50-50 split, but the size gap is what really matters here. The cost difference between California Flight Academy and ATP Flight School is more than $48,000, and that savings is large enough to cover over 1 year's rent of in El Conjo, with the room to spare. Based on my overall recommendation, California Flight Academy is the best possible route. The tuition savings are simply too significant to ignore, and the school's guarantee of a job interview after completing a certified flight instructor certificate gives me the best path towards building flight hours. That said, ATP Flight School is a strong second choice, especially for someone who values the short commute and wants a very established name in the industry. It's definitely a good choice. Thank you so much for taking your time watching this presentation. Thank you so much for building this course. Goodbye.